David White. Coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu meets Abdulsalami Ribadu offers. UK police charges former petroleum minister Alison Madueke with bribery. Plus, Japan to release treated water in 48 hours over Fukushima nuclear disaster. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in a moment. Critical stakeholders on the ECOWAS intervention in the crisis in Niger Republic. The delegation headed by Nigerian former head of state General Abubakar Abdulsalami retired was at the presidential villa to brief the president on the present demand of the Niger coup junta. President Tinubu is chairman of the Authority of the Heads of State and Government of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Recall that the Niger's coup leader had proposed a 3-year transition of power after meeting a delegation of West African leaders and warned that any attack on the country would not be a walk in the park for those involved. General Abdurrahman Chiani, speaking on national television late on Saturday, gave no details on the potential transition, saying only that the principles for the move would be decided within 30 days at a dialogue to be hosted by the ruling military council. Speaking to State House reporters after the meeting, General Abdulsalami retired, said the meeting with the president formed part of efforts to see a way of settling the political crisis after the military overthrew the democratically elected president. Tariq Objan Abubakar Abdulsalami, retired leader, ECOWAS delegation to Niger, attended a meeting where the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Toure, and the National Security Advisor to the President, Nuhu Ribadu.
The ECOWAS heads of state have made me an envoy to Niger Republic, and over the weekend we were there to see the military people and discuss to find the way out of the lacuna we find ourselves. So that's why I'm here this afternoon, together with the President of the ECOWAS Commission, to give a report back to Mr. President on our discussion.
Diezeni Alison Madueke with bribery offences. According to reports, the UK police today said they suspected she had accepted bribes in return for awarding multi-million pounds oil and gas contract. The 63-year-old ex-minister served during the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan from 2010 to 2015. She was the president of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. Away from that, the newly appointed Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, has expressed the federal government's commitment to lift 133 million Nigerians out of poverty. Edu discloses when she assumed office in Abuja and held maiden meetings with the chief executive officers of the agencies under the ministry. She assured Nigerians of her determination to ensure transparency and accountability during her tenure as minister. The humanitarian minister explained that the ministry will achieve the target through different interventions and initiatives aimed at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty. Meanwhile, the newly installed Minister for Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, has assured the staff of the Ministry of various stakeholders that his tenure will have a ministry that is open and accountable to Nigerians. He made the comments following the inauguration of 45 confirmed ministers designated yesterday at the conference center of the State House in Abuja. Idris revealed that the national orientation will form the core of the ministry's mandate in addition to information dissemination, cautioning Nigerians against spreading fake news and urging members of the press to cross-check their information before dissemination. In the meantime, the Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo has sought the support and cooperation of the paramilitary agencies which are under the supervision of his ministry. The paramilitary agencies under the ministry include the Nigeria Correctional Service, the Nigeria Immigration Service, the Federal Fire Service, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Tunji-Ojo, who was one of the ministers appointed by President Bola Tinubu and sworn in, held the maiden meeting shortly after the swearing-in ceremony. The minister called for synergy among the paramilitary service chiefs, charging them to be up and doing in their respective agencies. From the Green Chambers now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has asked the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, to consider road investment funds to accelerate the development of infrastructure in Nigeria. The Deputy Speaker stated these while delivering a goodwill message to reception funding roads and other infrastructure. He noted that in the face of financial constraints, the government must consider leveraging private funds through public-private partnerships. Away from that, the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has said that it has begun a process that would eliminate duplication in wastage and put an end to era of working at cross purposes with state governors in the region. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NDDC, Samuel Obuku, met this. He said the stakeholders forum was aimed at providing a platform for achieving an effective budgeting system in line with the renewed hope project of the government. In a statement, developed territorial waters have been given December 31, 2023 deadline to settle any outstanding tax returns. The deadline was contained in a public statement issued and signed by Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), Mohammed Nami. The order came after two previous statements issued by the agency in June and December 2021. The two earlier directives outlined the basis of taxation for international shipping lines and urged them to sort out their tax responsibilities within 3 months. The FIRS stated that if any shipping companies fail to comply with the deadline, the agency will work with relevant security agencies to prosecute defaulters. Moving now to Africa, the African Union today said it had suspended Niger until civilian rule in the country is restored and would assess the implications of any armed intervention in the troubled Sahel nation. The Peace and Security Council requests the AU Commission to undertake an assessment of the economic, social, and security implications of deploying a standby force in Niger and report back to Council. It would be recalled that army officers toppled President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26, prompting the West African region bloc ECOWAS to threaten to use force to reinstate him. Still in Africa, Senegal authorities have said that 38 survivors from the boat tragedy off Cape Verde had returned to Dakar via a military plane. The authorities said the survivors were among the 101 people who set out for the journey on 10 July, trying to reach Spain's Canary Islands. According to him, more than 60 people, mostly men from the fishing town of Fas Boye and the surrounding area, are feared dead. On a foreign scene, Japan authorities have said that the country will start releasing treated radioactive water from the tsunami-hit Fukushima nuclear plant into the Pacific Ocean on Thursday, despite opposition from its neighbors. The decision comes weeks after the UN's nuclear watchdog approved the plan. The Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said releasing the water is a necessary step in the lengthy and costly process of decommissioning the plant, which sits on the country's east coast, about 220 kilometers northeast of the capital, Tokyo. Reports say 1.34 million tons of water, enough to fuel 500 Olympic-sized pools, have accumulated since the 2011 tsunami destroyed the plant. Still on a foreign scene, former U.S. President Donald Trump has said that he will turn himself in on Thursday in Georgia to face racketeering and other charges stemming from his bid to overturn the 2020 election. Reports say Trump and the 18 other co-defendants in the landmark case have until noon on Friday to turn themselves in to the authorities in Georgia to be booked filed against him in the southern states. Well, still to come in the news, Man City manager Guardiola The Minister of Steel Development, Shuaibu Audu, has stressed the need to resuscitate the Ajaokuta Steel Company. Audu confirmed his commitment to restoring the moribund steel plant during a press briefing in Abuja. According to him, he will set a roadmap for the development of the steel sector, aggressively pursue the completion of Ajaokuta Steel, and enact required bills to regulate the steel sector, among others. He further disclosed that the creation of a new ministry underscored President Bola Tinubu's mandate in pursuing the nation's overall development. And still in business, the organizers of the Nigerian Marketing Award have said that this year's edition of the event would focus on how to innovatively move the industry forward. The convener of the event, Anthony Agonomen, while speaking at the press conference in Lagos, said this year's edition themed Elevate, Innovate, Inspire. According to him, the theme encapsulates push in the current challenging business environment. In health, the World Health Organization (WHO) public health practitioners and studies have shown that having an undetectable viral load reduces the risk of human immunodeficiency virus transmission through needles, syringes, and other shared sharp objects. They stress that taking medicines as prescribed or medication adherence when it comes to HIV, antiretroviral therapy, which would help, as well as keeping an undetectable viral load, would make HIV transmission to loved ones, children, and sex partners less possible. According to World Health Organization, keeping an undetectable viral load is the best way to stay healthy and protect others from getting infected. And still in health, the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives Nurses, NANM, has appealed to the co-coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, to ensure adequate investment in manpower and infrastructure. Made the appeal in an interview with Newsman in Lagos. He also urged the minister to ensure that budgetary allocation to the health sector aligned with the 15% Abuja Declaration Pact. According to Odumoso, the health sector has been grossly underfunded for years, leading to a migration of healthcare workers. And sports, Manchester City have agreed to sign Belgium wingers Jeremy Doku from Rennes in a deal worth £55.4 million. The 21-year-old has scored 12 goals in 92 appearances for the League One side. Doku is poised to become City's third major signing of the summer after Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea for £25 million and Josko Gvardiol from RB Leipzig for £77 million. Still in sport, the Premier League champions announced that Pep Guardiola will miss Manchester City's next 2 matches after a routine operation on his back today. City said their treble-winning manager had been suffering from severe back pain for some time and flew out to Barcelona for emergency yet routine surgery. Reports say the Spanish boss will remain in Barcelona while he recovers from the operation and is expected to miss City's matches against Sheffield United this Sunday and Fulham on September 2nd, with assistant manager Junmar Lillo taking temporary charge in his absence. On our entertainment news, Tres has released the nominations list for its inaugural Tres Award and Festival. The award is set to showcase Africa's excellence and diversity of Afro-centric music, among others. The award, which will take place on October 21 in Kigali, Rwanda, is set to attract creatives from all over the world to engage in a rich cross-cultural pollination in the festival that Wizkid, the Caribbean, the United Kingdom, the South America will compete in 22 award categories, and winners will take home the unique Tres Award trophies. Still on entertainment news, the leading gift card trading platform in Nigeria and Ghana, Captonic, has announced a sensational new alliance with popular Afrobeat singer Shay Vibes. Captonic announced Shay Vibes as its latest brand ambassador. Reports say he will represent Captonic at forthcoming promotional campaigns and special events. Shay Vibes is coming into the spotlight within the arena of Afrobeat music and is known for his tracks such as $1 Billion and Chance. Captonic, as it expands across Africa, Captonic has revolutionized the trading of gift cards in Africa by making transactions seamless and offering great rates. Meanwhile, the platform allows people to trade gift cards simply and conveniently. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon.